Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and we're talking Avatar today, or more specifically, Avatar, The Way of Water. Terrible title. But anyway, because apparently it's so expensive, it's got to become the fourth or fifth highest grossing film in history just to break even, which means it's got to make over $2 billion worldwide. So let's have a look at the news. This is from Variety. Apologies if I seem a bit off today. I'm not feeling very well, but, we've still got to do this stuff. There we go, from Variety. The link's in the description. And don't forget, like and subscribe and all that cool stuff. Right. Avatar 2 is so expensive it must become the fourth or fifth highest grossing film in history just to break even. And there's Jake Sully. Voiced and motion captured by... him, that fella. I forgot his name. Never mind. How expensive is Avatar The Way of Water? It used to be right big, didn't it? Sam Worthington. So when the first Avatar came out, and Terminator Salvation, and Clash of the Titans, they were like the biggest name in Hollywood, only for about 5 minutes, and then they just disappeared. Anyway, how expensive is Avatar The Way of Water? Early reports have claimed the production budget alone was in the $250 million range, but director James Cameron isn't willing to give a hard number just yet. The only answer Cameron would give about the sequel's budget when asked by GQ magazine was the following: very effing expensive. I could swear, but, I can't be arsed. Cameron apparently told Disney and 20th Century Studios executives that his sequel budget was so high it represented the worst business case in movie history. As some have suggested, because it should make over $2 billion, the budget for the film could be around the $400 million mark, which sounds about right. I think then it'd have to make about $1.5 billion to break even. It's usually 3 times the budget, because usually there's the production budget, and then you have to add on marketing, which is usually equal to the production budget, because advertising costs a lot, and then you have to add on ticket sales, which generally, particularly for Disney stuff, is around about 50%. Disney gets about 50% of the ticket sales, so 3 times the production budget is the rule of thumb. Anyway, so where were we? Cameron apparently told Disney and 20th Century Studios executives, I still miss the 20th Century Fox, but never mind, that his sequel budget was so high it represented the worst business case in movie history. But that could be said for a lot of James Cameron films. They're always saying, it's going to be a disaster, and he ends up rolling in money. According to the director's estimates, you have to be the 3rd or 4th highest grossing film in history. That's your threshold. That's your break even. On the current chart of highest grossing movies worldwide, unadjusted for inflation, Cameron's original 2009 Avatar ranks at the top with $2.9 billion. Disney's Avengers Endgame is in second position with $2.7 billion. They've got that wrong, haven't they? While Cameron's Titanic remains in the 3rd slot with $2.1 billion. I think it had a re-release, didn't it, recently, which helped push it up. That means, according to Cameron, that if Avatar The Way of Water wants to break even, it'll need to overtake either Star Wars The Force Awakens at $2.07 billion or Avengers Infinity War at $2.05 billion in the 4th or 5th slots, respectively. Only 5 movies have ever crossed the $2 billion mark worldwide, unadjusted for inflation. While the pandemic has affected moviegoing, films like Spider-Man No Way Home at $1.9 billion and Top Gun Maverick $1.4 billion have managed to turn huge profits. So there's hope for The Way of Water, but just not for that title. The original Avatar grossed $785 million domestically, that's in the US, and sits at number 4 in the all-time US box office chart, unadjusted for inflation. In the 5th slot is Top Gun Maverick with $716 million domestic. Avatar The Way of Water opens in theatres December 16th, and we can have a look here. There we go. Here's a list of the... I have to move that over, aren't I, now? Of the top... These are the top movies, unadjusted, highest grossing films, unadjusted for inflation. So there we go. We've got Avatar at the top with $2.9 billion, Avengers Endgame at 2.7, Titanic 2.1, Star Wars Force Awakens 2.06, Then Infinity War, then Spider-Man No Way Home, then Jurassic World, which is surprisingly high, but there you go. The Lion King. Now then, that's the new one, isn't it? 2019. It's not the original, it's the live-action remake. Not live-action. At 1.6 billion. And then going down the list, there's Top Gun Maverick at 1.4. Big long list. Anyway, there you go. Oh, what's that? Last Jedi, 1.3. And what's that? Force Awakens? 2. So, Last Jedi made a lot less. But where's the Rise of Palpatine? Oh, way down there, look. Diminishing returns for Star Wars. But I digress. But anyway, so there you go. That's a James Cameron one. And then I suppose if we go down, I bet Terminator 2's in here somewhere. Probably. Or maybe not, I don't know. But it ain't. But that's unadjusted for inflation. But if you go down adjusted for inflation, Gone with the Wind dwarfs almost all the others at $3.9 billion from 1939. It's a film I've only seen once, but I did enjoy it. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, which was apparently rather risque back in the day to say damn on film. It almost got the film banned. There we go, Sound of Music there as well. The original Star Wars, not A New Hope, it's just Star Wars at 3.3 billion. But this is all adjusted for inflation, but some great films in there. Look, Ten Commandments, Dr. Zhivago, and then a new one, Star Wars, The Force Awakens. I'm going to say the newest, but we've got Avengers Endgame in there, which in my opinion isn't half as good as Infinity War. Infinity War was an amazing film, and Endgame was a bit meh, wasn't it? A bit meh. But it came off. Its success was due to Infinity War, in my opinion. But anyway, so there we go. What was I going to say? Yeah, James Cameron. Never count him out. Because his films... Remember when Titanic came out, and I don't know what the budget was for it, but I think it was the highest budgeted film ever at the time. People say it's going to be a disaster. Who wants to see a film about a ship sinking? So never count James Cameron out. So it could get over 2 billion, but personally, I don't think it will. I think it'll do well, and I think it'll be a good film, because I did like Avatar. Yeah, it was Fern Gully, Dances with Wolves, Pocahontas. It's all that, isn't it? But I still enjoyed it. He can make a good... James Cameron could do a good ripping yarn and put it on film. They're not exactly original, his films. Terminator, they had to put a card at the end of the film saying, that the reference, the work of Harlan Ellison, because they got sued, so they had to put that in. So, there you go. Some people he's not very original, which, everything is a variation on a theme, isn't it? There's supposed to be only eight storylines, isn't there, in fiction, 8 basic storylines, and everything's based around them. So he knows what he can do, does Cameron, and he plays to his strengths, and I'm sure it'll be a good film, and it'll be a good ripping yarn, it'll be action-packed, and, he'll try and put in his love story and his environmental stuff, but everybody's just to see the explosions. That's all they want to see. So there we go. I'll leave it there. So, will it become the fourth or fifth highest grossing film in history? I don't think it will, but I'm prepared to be amazingly wrong about it, because I think it will be a good film. Will I go see it at the cinema? Probably not, because I don't get to go to the cinema very often these days, but... we will have to see what happens. Right, we'll leave it there. So, wherever you are in the universe or on Pandora, look after each other. Oh, there, don't have unobtainium in it again. Anyway, and then floating islands, but whatever. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll see thee.